won the Midwestern Conference, the first time that the Timberwolves had the best record in the Western Conference, the first time that the Timberwolves had the most valuable player in the NBA. And that player led this league in total points and total rebounds. The first time in 29 years that has been done. Kevin, you play this game with a passion, with an energy, with a devotion, with a respect, and with a loyalty to your fans. Congratulations. 2003-2004 NBA MVP, Kevin Garnett.
I just want to say thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Glenn Taylor. Thank you, organization. Thank you, my family, and thank you, fans.
It's the Western Conference semifinal. Game one is Kevin Garnett, the MVP, and the Minnesota Timberwolves take on the rugged Sacramento Kings. Our tip-off from the Target Center comes your way next as you're watching the NBA playoffs on TNT. The Target Center is filled to capacity for this Western Conference semifinal Game 1 with the Minnesota Timberwolves with the best record in the Western Conference against the visiting Sacramento Kings with Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller. This is Kevin Harlan. A look now at our McDonald's starting lineups. And first of all, for the Kings, who get by the Dallas Mavericks in 5 with 4 wins. Doug Christie was sensational. Mike Bibby with 36 in Game 5. Stojakovic, we expect to see more of Divac in this series, and Chris Webber. And for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who took out the Denver Nuggets, they got Sam Cassell and Trenton Hassel in their backcourt. Hassel, a defensive specialist, with Latrell Sprewell, Irvin Johnson, and Kevin Garnett. And there is the NBA MVP, Kevin Garnett, who had a sensational season. The volume turned way up inside the Target Center. Our officials tonight, Bob Delaney, Danny Crawford, and Monty McCutcheon, and Doug Collins. What are you looking for early in this game tonight, Game 1?
Well, it's going to be important for the Sacramento big men to be more involved than they were in Dallas series. They weren't able to play in that series because of the small lineup. Vlade Divac is going to be important, and we have to watch the matchups, some exciting matchups here as we start this series tonight.
So they got Stojakovic on Hassel. Christie is on Sprewell, and Garnett guarded by Webber. Rebounding side, Irvin Johnson.
That is critical right there, rebounding for Sacramento. They gave up over 21 offensive rebounds a game against Dallas. Lucky it did not cost them the series. Minnesota's going to go hard to the boards.
Christie was great with 3 double-doubles in that Dallas series. Stojakovic, the second leading scorer in the NBA, with the rebound by Divac. It goes crashing to the floor on an Irvin Johnson foul inside, and Johnson picks up his first foul for Minnesota.
Well, Kevin, we'll take a look here at just some things I think are going to be important as we start this series. Sacramento defensive rebounding. We already see Minnesota here early in the game get an offensive rebound. Post defense on Kevin Garnett. Who's going to guard him? I think they're going to need Olowokandi to be able to guard him late in the game. And the screen roll defense, they're going to have to do a good job on Sam Cassell coming off those picks. Minnesota, they have to take away the layups, force them into the jump shooting, get to the offensive boards. And this should be a lot of fun. When we talked to Flip Saunders before the game, 2 areas he was concerned about in the Denver series. They turned the ball over a little bit too much, and the offensive rebounding here already they've given up a second shot opportunity to Sacramento.
Doug, in that Dallas series, Divac was an afterthought. Matchup problems there. He'll be fresh entering this series.
And it's going to be so important for him because so much of their offense goes through him.
We just saw the Best Buy's key to the game. It's picked up Christie into Weber. And Johnson with the rebound, Cassell the other way. Bibby with the defense, and Sam Cassell, all second-team NBA.
That's a tough matchup because Sam Cassell really tortures the small guards. And so you're going to see, I think, Doug Christie on him a lot in this series.
Weber way outside, Garnett late with the defense. Now, people think that might be a good matchup, Garnett and Weber. A lot of people think the key matchup is Sprewell launches a long one. And Irvin Johnson with an offensive rebound. That's his third overall rebound of the game.
Well, that's not a good sign for Sacramento. Already 2 offensive rebounds, 2 turnovers by Cassell.
And inside as Garnett and Bibby got tangled up and a foul called on Kevin Garnett. The premier matchup, though, might be the point guards. Bibby of Sacramento against Cassell of Minnesota.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be very important in Sacramento's defense. That's their big men, because in all the screen rolls, Cassell, Denver's big men were very quick, and they could trap him. And after he had the 40-point first game, they did a much better job of controlling him on the screen roll. So it's going to be important for those big guys. We see Mike Bibby miss the free throw. Important for Sacramento's big guys to really help when he comes off those screens, make him pass the ball. He already has 2 turnovers.
Bibby's been 87% from the free throw line in the playoffs. As you take a look at Rick Adelman, who's got a lot on his plate, especially with Chris Webber. How many minutes should he play? Should he be on the bench? Some very deft coaching moves in Game 5. Miss outside by Spree, and here comes Mike Bibby coming off a 36-point performance in Game 5 against Dallas. Slips it into Webber. And into Divac.
The passing ability of Webber, you see they run the screen roll more for him to catch it and be a passer there than a shooter. Nice little drop off the body.
Garnett over Divac and doubled inside, and Irvin Johnson taps it in.
So if you're going to give Irvin Johnson 4 points on offensive rebounds, you're in trouble because he's a guy that doesn't score many points. He already has 2 stickbacks here to start the game.
And Bibby launching a 3. He hit 6 against Dallas a couple nights ago in that game-clinching 5 victory.
Sam's going to go right back in that lane, try to shoot right over the top of him.
And Cassell with the miss, and a rebound by Divac. And the Kings so far -1 in rebounding, and here they come, shooting 60%. A 3 by Bibby, good again! And Mike Bibby has started with 2 consecutive threes. This is Minnesota's biggest deficit at home during the playoffs. 7 points.
Well, they're going to have to talk about it, Minnesota. They started out the game, they wanted to show on that screen roll with Mike Bibby and then try to get back. And you can see he's made them pay for that. He's on a roll right now. You're going to make him pass the ball. Sam Cassell goes underneath the screen. Mike Bibby steps back and knocks in the 3, and then they run a little screen roll with Stojakovic. He steps back and hits it, a 9-2 run. Bibby off to a great start for Sacramento.
Tonight, the 2004 NBA playoffs from Minneapolis on TNT are being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the NBA playoffs and finals. Southwest Airlines. By Verizon Wireless, sign up for America's Choice Family Share Plan. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Miller, vote Miller for president of beers. Good call. Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan. This is a very intriguing series for many different reasons.
Well, I think when you look at Sacramento, their 3 best players play the same position that Minnesota's 3 best players. So you got a lot of matchups like that, but I think you're going to get a lot of cross matches where you're going to get, maybe Doug Christie guarding against Cassell. So then that changes the game as well. So we'll have to watch how this all transpires. First game, always a feeling out process.
No changes for either lineup after that break. Approaching 9 to play in this first quarter is Kevin Garnett, who is 0 of 2 and a whistle. And that's the 3rd turnover.
I would have to think that Kevin Garnett right now is so excited.
Yep.
I mean, in the second round for the first time in his career, gets his MVP trophy tonight. He might get off to one of these starts where it's a little bit slow until he gets a little tired. And then once he calms down a little bit, he'll probably really take off.
Kings right now enjoying their biggest lead of this game. 7, Bibby for 3. It hit the previous 2. A rebound by Trenton Hassel, who last year was the starter for the Chicago Bulls. It's Cassell with Bibby right there. Garnett picked up by Stojakovic, and Divac on a mismatch with Hassel. That means Johnson's got Weber, and Garnett gets a screen from Hassel, hits his first.
I can see him as he gets a little bit tired, really being effective. Sometimes you get yourself so wound up, and we know he's got a motor that's racing all the time.
Mike Bibby, 7 points, leads all scorers in this game as Doug Christie, who has not taken a shot yet, gets it up to Bibby. A Vlade screen, Cassell chases. Here comes Weber, a Bibby screen, and off to Vlade Divac.
That's a great sign for Sacramento. Vlade is such an important part of this team. You've already seen him get to the free throw line. He's got a layup. He's got a jump shot. The guys on the team love having him on the floor.
Timberwolves won 58 games this season, and the Kings won 55. And they have met 2 previous times late in the season as a foul is called on Bibby for the first time. They each won 2 games in the regular season series.
Well, Cassell loves to post up against smaller guards. Mike Bibby tries to get in front of him, and Sam Cassell, nice little acting job there. So we'll have to watch that. I'm sure that if Mike Bibby picks up another foul, they'll slide Christie over to guard him a little bit. They've got to keep Mike Bibby in the game.
Latrell Sprewell and Garnett. Double by Vlade and by Weber.
And they're going to make that guy right there, Trenton Hassel, make jump shots. They're going to be very aggressive, Kevin. A great call on Garnett and Cassell, and make the other guys make some shots.
Hassel has shot 57% in these playoffs, and Stojakovic for 3. Rebound by Sprewell.
Trenton Hassel, one of the better defensive small forwards in the league, did not get any credit this year on any of the teams, first or second team, but a terrific defender.
What a pass inside. Kevin Garnett to Trenton Hassel.
He has really earned the respect of his teammates, Kevin. Moving without the basketball, you see Stojakovic peaks for a moment, and Vlade's slow on his rotation. This is Vlade's coverage. He's got to come over and help. He's a little bit slow, but Trenton Hassel and Fred Hoiberg, who we'll see later, 2 very important pieces of this puzzle. Both of them play very good defense. Hoiberg a better shooter. They both bring toughness, and they fit in very nicely with this team. There we see the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, who now with Wally Zerbiak being down with the back problem, is going to get more minutes, and those 2 guys are going to be very, very important to his success.
Divac has picked up the foul. Sacramento by 4. And Weber guarded by Kevin Garnett as we approach 7 to play in the first. Oh, nice fake by Weber. Got Garnett in the air. And Kevin rips off his first rebound tonight with 2 points. And Kevin Garnett through the lane and looking for Johnson, and tipped out of bounds off the Kings, and 16 on the clock.
A little too unselfish there, but you can also see what Garnett is going to do. Anytime he gets a chance, he's going to sprint Weber in the open court and make Chris Weber run. Chris Weber is not running well with that injury.
It's Garnett with the fake. Knocked away by Christie. Picked up by Hassel. And the drive inside. Down by 7. Minnesota has come back to within 2.
And who are the big scorers right now? Trenton Hassel and Irvin Johnson.
And that is a good sign for Minnesota, because you know the other ones will pick up the slack as Bibby tried to feed inside. Now Minnesota's got a 3-on-2. First Sacramento turnover. Garnett to Hassel. And he was hassled inside by Christie's defense. That is the 4th Minnesota turnover. And they go to Vlade Divac, who has 6 points. A great passer against Irvin Johnson.
Well, Vlade's back. He's got fresh legs. I was concerned about how effective he was going to be, because he did not play much at the end of the year, but he is right back into the flow of things.
Timberwolves have not hit a 3. The Kings have hit 2 above the arc. Both authored by Bibby. Garnett. On a rebound inside. Here comes Mike Bibby. Kevin Garnett is 1 of 4 to start the game. Chris Weber.
When Sacramento's big men set screens, they don't roll to the basket, Kevin. They pop out for sort of a pick and pop. If they make that shot, they're going to have to change their defense a little bit, get some rotation to get to the shooter.
They come out and trap Cassell. And Hassel is there, and inside to Irvin Johnson, who had the mismatch on Doug Christie.
Well, nice job there punching into the lane. Anytime you're going to trap the basketball, that means you're really playing a zone on the backside, and 3 guys try to play 4, and he punched right underneath the basket.
Irvin Johnson leads Minnesota with a 3 of 3 start. He's got 8 points from Divac. And Bibby off the baseline inside. Gets his miss and puts it down. Mike Bibby has started 3 of 5, 9 points in 7 minutes. Cassell with a Johnson screen.
Vlade slow getting out there. That's what I was talking about, how important it's going to be for the big men. Anytime Cassell comes off that screen, Kevin, those big men got to get up there and show.
Very quiet, Peja Stojakovic so far. He is 0 of 2. And he cuts inside in the pass from Christie, and the spoon feed to Divac, who's got a game-high 10.
Vlade's having a Laker flashback here. Those fresh legs there. He's playing like it's a young guy.
Either team. Oh, and Vlade goes down, grimacing in pain. Garnett is open because Weber was looking for his fallen teammate, and Divac is in real pain. And a timeout taken by Sacramento. It's a full timeout taken by the Kings.
You know, anytime Vlade goes down, it's hard to tell because he's one of the greatest actors in the NBA, and you don't want to diminish his injury, but it looked like he got hit there with Sam Cassell. He goes down like he was actually shot. And let's take a look here. Right there, he sort of ran into Sam Cassell as he was coming down the floor. They'll take a 20-second timeout to talk about this. Actually, now a full timeout.
The Timberwolves have the second best regular season record in the NBA. This is the first time they played in a second round series. Timeout.
Well, the Kings lead by 6 off to a great start. I'm going to show you here. This is where Vlade Divac is. He's right here in the lane. And you're going to see how far he is off of Irvin Johnson. We said, well, Irvin Johnson can't shoot. But what he can do is Cassell's going to come off this area, and Vlade's got to get up there quicker because Cassell loves to come off and shoot. This is what I was talking about. The bigs must get up and help. So even though your man cannot shoot the ball out there, Irvin Johnson, Vlade's got to be up, and he's got to be helping all the time on Cassell. Denver's big men were very active and quick. It caused Sam Cassell some problems in that series after game 1. That's why Brad Miller and Vlade and Chris Webber and Darius Sangay, those guys are going to be vital, because Sam Cassell loves to play pick and roll and come off those screens and chase the ball.
Well, you were right on the money about Divac and what kind of influence he might have in this series. He already has a game-high 10 points. His highest in the Dallas round was 12. And Brad Miller is in. Garnett deflects the pass. The Timberwolves stick with their starting 5. Miller is the only new entrant in the game with 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Cassell picked up by Stojakovic. Here is Hassel to Cassell, and Stojakovic right on him. Peja playing some great defense, and Sprewell for 3. Rebound, Garnett knocked away by Miller in the head to Weber. And off to Stojakovic, intercepted by Sprewell. Sloppy passing, and here comes Spree the other way for Minnesota.
Well, they're really going inside to Kevin Garnett, making a conscious effort to play inside out.
Well, don't you think they've got to establish him in that position?
Absolutely.
It's Hassel inside.
This guy's a very, very underrated player. Very aggressive. I liked him when he was a young player with Chicago. The problem was he played on such a bad team, he got lost.
Hassel and Irvin Johnson have scored 13 of Minnesota's 19 points to start the game.
Now Sacramento, that's got to be troublesome for them.
It's Weber with the deceptive fake on Johnson, a crash into Garnett, and KG gets his second rebound. We've had 1 lead change and 2 times in this game. The Kings have led by 7. Minnesota has led by 2. Garnett triple team, Sprewell inside.
Kevin Garnett is such an unselfish player, Kevin. I mean, as an MVP, he really trusts his teammates.
It's Christie. And a rebound by Garnett. And Minnesota is now +2 in rebounding in the game. The Timberwolves shooting 50%, 10 of 20. It's Weber guarded by Irvin Johnson. Shot clock is at 6, and Christie the fake and the drive.
Once again, Garnett touching that ball in the block. Kevin, he's touched it almost every time down the floor.
Garnett hounded by 2 defenders with a chance to tie.
Notice as he's calmed down, that nervous energy's gone now. And now the efficiency is just going to continue to rise. He's playing great right now.
And the Kings are shooting great right now. 55% for the game. Busy for 3. He's knocked down 3 above the arc in the first quarter.
You better get up on that guy. He's got it dialed in right now. He's on cruise control.
He's got a game high 12 points. Minnesota has hit their last 4. Cassell, Sprewell, the mismatch on Bibby. And Cassell with the move by Christie and over Pages Stojakovic. Johnson looking for another offensive rebound but cannot chase it down.
Irvin Johnson was very questionable tonight. He hurt his wrist in practice, but he's playing well.
Bibby with some variety to his offensive game. 3 from above the arc and a nice slashing move inside.
Well, when you can hit the 3, your game expands because now you have to play a guy on the perimeter that opens up driving lanes.
He's got a game high 14. They go inside with Cassell.
Well, Sam's got that scorer's mentality as well. He's not going to let Bibby go at him without going right back at him. He's going to make him play on the other end.
Doug Christie is 1 of 2. Both teams have a foul to give in the final 43 seconds. And out of bounds it goes, and the shot clock at 13 seconds.
You know, Kevin, it's interesting. When Minnesota plays against Sacramento, they try to take away layups, try to make them a jump shooting team. What's interesting, Page in the 4 games was 10 of 16 from the 3-point line against them in the regular season, 17 of 49 from 2. So they made him a 3-point shooter, and they took away his layups. And just as I speak there, he gets to the basket.
Timberwolves have brought in Michael Olowokandi and Fred Hoiberg, who Doug talked about a little bit earlier. Those are the first 2 substitutions for the Timberwolves in this game. Bibby will take a breather as Anthony Peeler comes in as Michael Olowokandi picks up his first foul.
Let's see if Olowokandi plays against Weber and put Garnett then over on Brad Miller, because Brad likes to play further out on the floor. So that would free Garnett. That's why Olowokandi could be vital in this series with his defense on Weber.
The NBA playoffs continue tomorrow night on TNT as the Spurs host the Lakers. Game 2 of their Western Conference semifinal. Coverage at 9 o'clock Eastern. Then Wednesday night also on TNT, the Heat will play the Pacers in Game 1.
They've moved Christie now over to Cassell. So now Bibby out of the game as the Peeler's playing against Hoiberg and Stojakovic is matched up against Hassel.
Sacramento's got a foul to give. It is Kevin Garnett with 6 points. Gives to Cassell, and he's got 6. And Hoiberg with the shot clock at 3. And Michael Olowokandi lost it as he was going up against Miller. And the final seconds ticking off. And here comes the former Timberwolf and current King, Anthony Peeler, who was traded to Milwaukee, cut by the Bucks, and picked up by the Sacramento Kings. And Peeler was the #1 3-point shooter this season in the NBA. It's Weber against Kevin Garnett. The drive by Weber and a foul on KG.
You know, you can really see with Weber, he's had 3 plays, Kevin, where he's gotten to the basket, and he just can't quite finish. This is a play that when his legs are right, he will dunk this basketball on the other side of the hoop. This does not have the lift. And we've seen twice where he's had to double clutch shots and make more difficult shots out of them.
Doug Weber was a little upset he did not play in most of that second quarter in Game 5 against Dallas. He was also a little bit miffed that he was taken out late in the game in a defensive situation against the Mavericks in that Game 5. He says there's no problem. What's your read on that situation?
Well, Rick Adelman did the right thing. First of all, in the second quarter, the Kings were down about 14 points. He went with a lineup that was working. He stayed with him. Stojakovic was also on the bench. So he went with a hot lineup. He got him back in the game. And then in the last play of the game with 6 seconds to go, he put in a quicker lineup so they could switch everything. So he did the right things.
The Kings equal their biggest lead of 7 at the end of 1, and Mike Bibby picks up right where he left off in Game 5. He had 36 a couple nights ago, and tonight, with Sacramento shooting 60%, Bibby has poured in 14. These are the Western Conference semifinals. Game 1, the Timberwolves and Kings on TNT.
Welcome back to the Target Center, where the Kings have a 7-point lead. And Kevin and Doug, as you were mentioning just a few minutes ago about Chris Webber's situation, recently there's been a few articles about C. Webb's lack of playing time, as you mentioned, during critical times of the game, and that maybe it has affected his relationship with Coach Rick Adelman. This is what Mike Bibby had to say about the situation.
With the media, there's always going to be some kind of distraction. You know, we're supposed to lose in the first round. You know, now they're trying to find something else that they could stick their nose into, you know, and try to, you know, kind of make us go at each other, I think, a little bit. But, you know, I mean, we have a lot of team unity on this team. And, you know, I mean, it's all on us. You know, I mean, we feel that we could do it. We just got to go out and do it.
And, Doug, this has been a team for the last couple of seasons that have had such high expectations to reach the finals. Do you think that maybe Chris Webber and this team are feeling the pressure a little bit?
Well, I think anytime you get to this stage, you feel the pressure. But for Chris Webber, Joe, it's even magnified because the team struggled when he came back to play through this injury. So all eyes are going to be on him, and he's going to be the focal point of everything that happens here.
Miller goes inside, and Olowokandi was defending and counted for 2, and the Kings have their biggest lead of this game as we start the second quarter. The game was tied at 25. Late first quarter, the Kings went on a 9-2 run to close out the first. We've got Garnett, Hoiberg, Olowokandi, Hassel, and Derek Martin, who's got the ball. That's the Minnesota 5. And a 3-second violation called inside on the Timberwolves. Their 6th turnover.
They really need Michael Olowokandi to get himself involved. Against Denver, he really struggled. He got in foul trouble. Did not play well. Actually, they went to Mark Madsen in Game 5 rather than Olowokandi.
Nice screen by Webber. Bibby then kicks it on the wing, and Peeler with the miss. And out of bounds, it goes off Minnesota. Miller, Christie, Bibby, Webber, and Peeler, the 5 that start the second quarter for the Kings.
Well, you can see Olowokandi now playing Webber. That frees up Garnett to play against Brad Miller, as we talked about. But Olowokandi, he's got to give them something. If they're going to win this series, they're going to need him.
And Mike Bibby over Trenton Hassel, who got a hand in his face, and Bibby has put in 28 points over the last 2+ quarters, going back to Game 5 against Dallas as Hassel spins inside. It's loose, and Webber's on the court, and out of bounds. It is off of Sacramento, and Minnesota will inbound.
I'm very impressed with Sacramento here tonight to get started. They've come in, and I think that Game 4 that they played in Dallas on the road after they got spanked by about 25 in Game 3 gave them a road mentality that they have not had all season long. I start to see that with this team now. They used to be a terrific road team. They were not this year, starting to play much better.
And it's Garnett from outside. He is 4 of 9 with 8 points. What about Minnesota's big win on the road in Denver in their Game 4?
Those are games that bring teams together, especially after Denver's been spanked around pretty good. I think they lost by about 25. Denver was doing a lot of talking. And Minnesota stepped up and won a tough ball game by 2 there to take the series.
And Chris Webber with the miss. He is 2 of 6. Kings have led by 11. Timberwolves have led by as many as 2 with numerous lead changes and ties. And here we have a whistle away from the ball, and it's down low, and it will be on Anthony Peeler. He picks up the foul. That's the first on him.
It used to be you could do this. You could step in and bump the cutter like this. That no longer is the case. You've got to allow player freedom of movement. You're not allowed to step in and block his path. That's what they tried to clean the game up. It used to be you run through the lane and you would get knocked around like a pinball. They're now trying to give you a little room to cut.
Hassel is out. Sprewell is in the game for the first time in the second quarter. And Doug Christie saves the ball after a nice defensive play. And Bibby against Martin and off to Anthony Peeler. Rebound by Kevin Garnett. He has now grabbed 4 rebounds, and Hoiberg the other way. And pickpocketed by Brad Miller of the Kings. Minnesota getting killed on turnovers. 8 already in the game. A Webber screen. A little pick and roll. Bibby to Webber.
See, that's that pick and pop. You've got to be able to, their big men want to roll out and shoot the basketball. We talked about turnovers in the Denver series. They turned it over almost 17 times a game. This is a team that was second in the league in turnovers, but under 13 a game. So turnovers, they normally take very good care of the ball, Kevin.
Garnett, Sprewell, that lane is clogged. Doug, every time Minnesota tries to go inside, there's a lot of purple. And Christie against Hoiberg, and a foul called on Fred Hoiberg.
They're leaving the feet. You get in the air, they're leaving your feet, and what's happening is guys are stepping back and playing passing lanes. So you got to get yourself on balance, keep your feet on the floor. And right now they're playing. They're trying to make plays that aren't there, Kevin. It's like they're just a little too excited right now.
Mark Madsen is in, as is Garnett. That's been a nice tandem in the playoffs.
Well, Mark Madsen had a terrific Game 5, 8.7 rebounds in 22 minutes against Denver. They're going to need him as well as Bibby misses a jump shot. It's a rare occurrence here tonight.
Minnesota 4 turnovers on their last 5 trips in this second quarter.
You see, Michael Olowokandi did not get many minutes, so Flip Saunders cannot let this team dig itself a hole.
Hoiberg to Latrell Sprewell. The fake by Christie. A wide open Cassell. The rebound is snared by Kevin Garnett with the first 24-second shot clock. Sprewell for 3.
That's 5 offensive rebounds now for Minnesota. Again, we talked about Sacramento not doing a good job defensive rebounding against Dallas. Over 21 a game in that series.
Minnesota has hit their first 3. The Kings already have 3 above the arc. And Christie inside. No call made. Christie tries to get it out of bounds. And off of Sacramento. The Kings are shooting 53%. Minnesota is shooting 53%. There is a fever pitch inside the Target Center. Earlier tonight, they celebrated the MVP award to Kevin Garnett, the big ticket, and he has been that for this franchise. In the second round, for the first time ever, timeout. Time now for the Bud Light around the NBA headlines. The Detroit Pistons outscoring the Nets in each quarter Monday and rolling to a 78-56 win. That was the opening game in the Eastern semifinals. Tayshaun Prince, game high 15 points. The Charlotte Bobcats officially joined the NBA on Monday. They're the NBA's 30th team. In Game 2 between the last 5 NBA champions Wednesday at San Antonio. The Spurs have won 16 straight. Game 2, Lakers-Spurs tomorrow on TNT.
And when you know the Czar and Marv are hanging on our every word here tonight as we're getting ready for that Game 2 tomorrow night in San Antonio.
Here comes Cassell after the timeout. Sprewell from outside. Madsen remains in the game. Rebound by Mike Bibby. Rebounding in this game, Minnesota is +4. Kings have led by 11. Divac is back in. He's begun with a 4-4 effort. Brad Miller. And a rebound by Fred Hoiberg. Garnett and Miller are waging war, and Divac is roaming the perimeter. And Miller sticks on KG. Help from Vlade. And fighting for it inside, Anthony Peeler. Stojakovic, 0-2, 0-3. Miller, it did not hit the rim. Now Peja gets the pass, and Miller put it right in his chest.
Well, you see Mark Madsen did a nice job getting out on Stojakovic, but he did not go to the rebound. He tried to leak out on the play, and Stojakovic just went to the basket. You don't want to give a shooter a layup after he's missed 3 shots.
Mike Bibby's got 16 points to lead all scores. The Timberwolves have no one in double figures. And the MVP, Garnett, knocked out by Madsen, picked up by Cassell, and out to Hoiberg. Garnett's 8 leads Minnesota. Fred Hoiberg for 3. Rebound by Mike Bibby, who's got 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And a foul.
You know, it's interesting, you know, Kevin, both of these point guards, when you talk about Mike Bibby and Sam Cassell, neither one of them are what you would call really quick, lightning quick kind of players. But you know what? They have a great ability to get to where they want to get on the floor.
Stojakovic for 3.
He's way up.
He was the number 6 3-point shooter in the NBA this season. Here comes Sam Cassell. Sprewell. Cassell for 3. Rebound by Peja Stojakovic. When he was not shooting well against Dallas, he did other things. He played defense, he got assists, and he was rebounding.
Well, he averaged 9 rebounds in that series, well above his season average, and he had the 3 key defensive stops to win the 3 close games.
Mike Bibby. Rebound by Kevin Garnett. Bibby had hit his last 3 from above the arc, and here comes Minnesota. They have missed their last 5 from the field. It's Madsen with Divac there. A couple of spinning moves by Mark Madsen.
See, that's more than just 2 points because he is such a spark plug for this team. He'll get this crowd into the game. He's that guy that really gives you a lift. He'll get down on this end. He'll take a charge. You see him down there fighting against Vlade in the low post. The 2 battering rams down in there going at one another, but Mark Madsen is going to give you the effort. You know that.
Madsen picks up his first. He spent 3 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was a hot commodity on the free agent tour. San Antonio wanted him, but Minnesota got him. And he's in the second round with the Timberwolves. Timeout. The 2004 NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you tonight by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy. And by Van Helsing, starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale. This Friday, adventure lives forever. Let's now go to Cheryl Miller, who is standing by with the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
And you almost caught the commissioner red-handed. He's passing down the food. Go ahead and hand me the popcorn and everything else. Of course, Commissioner, a game wouldn't be the same without popcorn. But first and foremost, Kevin Garnett today was declared by the Mayor's Day. It was considered Kevin Garnett Day. You presented him the MVP. What you said in your speech, you can say a lot about his stats and whatnot, but what makes him special is his passion and his respect for the game.
He knows what came before him. He wants to contribute to the game. I mean, I think we're talking about one of the great ones of all time.
You got to talk about Charlotte, the newest addition to the NBA. What are the expectations next season?
Well, you're going to have to ask Ed Scott and Bob Johnson. We're very proud to have them back in the NBA. We're very proud of ownership and management. And I think they have a few surprises up their sleeves in the expansion draft.
And Commissioner, enjoy the rest of the game and get your eat on.
Listen, I forgive you for stopping to talk to the beautiful people at courtside first. It's okay.
I appreciate that. Let's send it back to you, Kevin and Doug.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. We've got 5:50 to play in the first half. Peeler, Bibby, Stojakovic, Miller, and Divac out there for the Kings. Peja is 1 of 5. Divac is 4 of 4. Shot clock at 1. Stojakovic. Rebound offensively by Brad Miller. That's big for the Kings. And Mike Bibby from 3. Rebound by Mark Madsen out there. Sprewell, Cassell, Garnett, and Fred Hoiberg. Sacramento is only 4 of 15 in this quarter after shooting 60% in the first quarter. And here's Garnett, 8 points, and the drive inside. Rebound by Peeler, and off to Stojakovic.
Excuse me, Kevin. Kevin Garnett really struggling. 4 of 12 from the floor. All of his shots were contested around the lane. So Sacramento doing a nice job helping back on defense.
And it's Miller left uncovered. Cassell late in his defense of Miller, who really picked up steam with 21 points in Game 5 against Dallas.
Well, I'm sure Sacramento loves to have him back because he makes the open jumper. He's a good passer. He brings in toughness. And they really missed him when he was banged up.
They had 4 ties in this game in a lead change, and here comes Garnett again, finding 2 and 3 Kings around him every time he touches the ball.
See, Kevin's taken 13 shots in this game. He's 5 of 13. He has 10 points, but he's not gotten to the free throw line yet. The difference in this game right now is Minnesota's only taken 1 free throw. That was on a 3-point play by Hassel. They've got to get to that foul line.
And the Kings are 7 of 8. Garnett playing with 2 fouls. Here comes Peeler, dancing with Cassell. And Miller picked up by Garnett with the shot clock down to 6. Into Stojakovic, and a great pass by Brad Miller on top to Peja.
See, when Sacramento's offense is running their best, the big men are out high, and the guards are cutting off and then looking for layups.
Timberwolves shooting 47%. It's Sprewell and KG, who has gone 5 of 13. Hoiberg for 3.
Very, very underrated shooter. On the season, Kevin, he shot 44% from behind that 3-point line. And when they got him, I don't think they realized all the other things that he was bringing along with that shot of his.
Both teams shooting identical, 48.6 from the field in this game. 3.5 to play in the half. Here comes Peeler, chased by Cassell, and a foul called on Mark Madsen, who picked up the defense as Peeler went driving low, and Madsen's got his second.
We talk so much about the big 3, and the big 3 of both of these teams, you can see if they qualified. Weber only played 23 games, but Sacramento's big 3 would be the top scoring trio in the NBA, followed closely by Garnett, Cassell, and Sprewell. So these 3 guys are vital for their offensive production.
Kings have been efficient tonight. Bibby to Divac, and a charge on Vlade Divac. That is Sacramento's first turnover in the last 12 minutes. Now they've got 4 for the game. Minnesota's got 9 for the contest so far.
I tell you, guys who flop hate it when guys flop on them. I mean, you see Vlade go, how could he do this to me? I mean, Vlade's the king of that. I mean, probably Mark Madsen grew up at Stanford watching him play. How to draw that charge, but Vlade's going to have to sit down. And Kevin, let's keep our eye on the end of this quarter here. 3-something to go. And Minnesota's been outplayed here. Let's see if they can play themselves back into it here at the half.
Points in the paint. Minnesota is +4 tonight. Second chance points. Minnesota +3. Quentin Hassel back in the game, looking for Madsen. And it's Garnett on top, and Weber reaching in, gambling, and picking up the Sacramento foul. It's the first on Chris Weber.
Kevin, on the screen roll defense, what Sacramento's doing, is as the guards are coming off for Minnesota, their big men are not jumping out and trapping, but the weak side is rotating up quickly, and they're leaving Hassel. They're letting him be open in the corner. His guy's rotating up to take the dribbler.
Hassel is 3 of 5 tonight. He has shot 57% in the playoffs. Inside, a close-in miss inside by Cassell. Here comes Bibby. Weber dancing on Kevin Garnett. And Chris Weber for the game is 3 of 8 with 8 points. It's Sprewell, he's got 5. We got a bigger guard on Cassell. Garnett to Trenton Hassel. Boy, has he been accurate. He knocks in a 2-point shot, and Hassel's got 9. And like I said, almost 60% in the playoffs for this role player, Trenton Hassel.
Well, he's playing with great confidence. Right now, his teammates trust him.
He's out of Austin Peay. Mike Bibby has been terrific tonight. 7 of 12 and a game-high 18.
You know, Mike Bibby's in one of those shooting things right now where if the ball hits the rim, it's almost he's disappointed. I mean, that's hitting nothing but the bottom of the net.
Cassell's got 6. Sprewell is 2 of 6.
He's going right to post. He's going to try to pay Mike Bibby back. They're going to double team, and this time it'll be Sprewell open for the shot.
Took 3. Rebound by Miller, and the Kings are -3 in rebound.
They're going to double team Cassell in the post, make him pass the basketball.
What a pass. Bibby inside. Stojakovic could not convert, and Kevin Garnett grabs his 9th rebound. He's got 10 points. He led the NBA again in double-double. Hassel again left uncovered, and again knocks it down.
Because their defense is being geared right now to stop Cassell and Garnett. He's going to be the guy who's going to make the shots. As the series goes along, you see how you make the adjustments with that. But right now, he's the guy who's going to be making the shots.
Hassel leads the Timberwolves with 11. Weber inside, knocked away by Garnett, picked up by Hassel. 3-on-3. The Kings back in transition defense. It doesn't matter because Sam Cassell has put it in. And Cassell's got 8 points, and the Timberwolves have come to within 3 with under a minute to play.
Listen to this crowd. What an arena here it is tonight. This is beautiful.
It's Weber. Doug Christie picked up by Cassell. And Christie for 2. Rebound by Garnett. Christie has gone 1 of 4. Garnett's got his 10th rebound of the night. And a foul has just been called inside on Brad Miller of the Sacramento Kings.
Well, Mike Bibby has been brilliant here in the game. He has 18 points coming off screens. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And Cassell, little sort of a drag transition break. You see Garnett coming in behind. Cassell knocks it down. And Minnesota creeping back into this game, down by only 3.
Well, the big 3 of the Minnesota Timberwolves have played great as a trio, one of the highest scoring trios, as Doug Collins just told you about moments ago, led by the MVP, Kevin Garnett.
Well, these 3 guys have been brilliant, and they're going to need these 3 guys. With Wally Szczerbiak being out with a back injury, they missed their 4th best scorer. So these 3 guys are going to be counted on heavily. And in the Denver series, they averaged almost 65 points a game after averaging a little over 61 points a game in the regular season. So you can see what's happening tonight. The Kings' big 3 outscoring him by 9. Sprewell only has 5. They've done a nice job on him, but the focus is Garnett and Cassell. The Kings want to try to stop these 2 guys and make other guys beat them.
How has Minnesota handled the injury to Troy Hudson, who was the backup to Sam Cassell, and the many minutes that Cassell must now play in these playoffs?
Well, he's going to play 40 minutes, and Derek Martin's probably going to play 4 minutes a half. So Sam is going to be out there 40 minutes a night. They're running him right in the post. If they double team, probably Hassel will once again get the open jump shot.
No fouls to give either way. Sprewell slashing by Weber and into Stojakovic. Rebound Kevin Garnett for the 11th time. Hassel, Sprewell. We take you to Ernie Johnson at halftime. No shot clock and a great fake by Cassell. It's a 1-point game. And Bibby, he cannot get the shot away. Cassell was there. And we are at halftime as the Kings, Doug, led by 10 with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And Minnesota closes out the half on an 11-2 run.
That's what happens. And, you know, you get home, you get that crowd behind you. A strong finish. Sacramento dominated the first half, but with a strong finish, Minnesota right back in this game.
Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Mike, you said coming into the series that you really wanted to be aggressive offensively and put a lot of pressure on Minnesota. You feel you were able to do that in the first half?
Yeah, I think so. I was making some things happen. My shot was falling early, you know, so that always makes it better. And, you know, we're up 1. You know, we gave him a little run at the end. You know, you just got to keep fighting.
You know, even though Hassel has 11 points in the first half, were you happy with the defense on the big 3?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, we're closing out to him too much, you know, like he's going to shoot the jump shot. But, you know, we just got to know who we're closing out to and, you know, protect the paint.
All right, good luck in the second half. Let's send it back to you, Kevin and Doug.
Thank you, Cheryl. Mike Bibby will turn 26 on May 13th. And he is having the kind of playoff run that he had a couple years ago against Dallas and against the Los Angeles Lakers. He has put this Kings team on his back, and the point guard has 18 points. That is a game high, and Ernie Johnson in this game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. The Kings lead the Timberwolves by a point as we swing it to you in our TNT studios. The Minnesota Timberwolves have led for only 31 seconds tonight. They trailed by 1 at halftime with Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan. We're back here in downtown Minneapolis. Stojakovic and Weber have combined 5 of 17 from the field, yet the Kings still lead.
Well, I think if you're Sacramento, you say, look, they're 5 of 17. We're being out-rebounded by 6. We still lead by 1, and the reason they are is because Mike Bibby was spectacular with 18. Vlade was terrific. He had 4 from the floor. He had 10 points. Those two guys, very important in Sacramento's leading in this first half.
Now the Chrysler game summary, you see pretty good shooting for both teams, but the free throw advantage for the Kings. And those points, they've gotten 7 at a 1-point game.
Well, Mike Bibby is in such a rhythm right now. To start out the game, he gets a steal against Sam Cassell. They were very aggressive. He had 2 steals on the screen roll. Comes off the little rub screen there, knocks in the jump shot. Sam Cassell goes underneath the screen. He steps back and hits a 3. And you see him do the same thing here. Trent Hassel steps out, then leads him. He knocks in another 3. Drives the ball to the basket, gets all the way, and you know Mike Bibby's mixing up his game. Again, he's not going to beat you with great speed or quickness, but he has the ability to get where he wants to get out on the floor, and his level of confidence right now matches, Kevin, what you talked about 2 years ago in the playoffs when he was spectacular in his runs against Dallas and the Lakers.
Kings have led by 11. The Timberwolves have led by as many as 2. They've had a lead change and 4 ties. Bibby, Christie, Vlade Divac, Chris Webber, and Stojakovic with the ball. Stojakovic 2 of 8. Here comes Webber, and he is 3 of 9. Doug Christie for 2, and Christie is 2 of 5. He's got 4, and the Kings by 3. Cassell, Johnson, Garnett, Sprewell, and the guy with the ball, Trenton Hassel, whose shot just continues to fall. 6 of 8, a Minnesota high of 13 points.
Well, I think we've talked about the entire first half. They're going to help off of him, and they're going to force him to be a jump shooter, and right now he's making everything. So he's keeping Minnesota in the game with his shooting.
Sacramento led by 7 at the end of 1. A first quarter that saw Bibby put in 14. Here's Christie with no place to turn, and there's a rebound by Irvin Johnson. He collects his 5th of the game.
Cassell loves to come down in these situations and pull up and shoot the ball. You have to be really aware of him on that little transition action.
Here comes Minnesota looking for a lead for the first time since the first minute of the game, and a traveling violation on KG.
You know, Chris Webber has done a good job defensively. I mean, Kevin Garnett's had some very good shots. He's only 5 of 13, but they're forcing him to make a lot of jump shots or digging back and giving help. And Kevin Garnett a little out of sync right now here on the offensive end. His rebounding and defense and assists are great, but he's just a little out of sync with his shooting.
Weber a screen, and the one thing about Stojakovic that shows he's got one of the quickest releases in the NBA.
You know, it's like a gunfighter in the West. His hands are ready to pull the trigger. He lets it go as soon as he catches it, man.
That's exactly right. Asia's got 8. Sam Cassell. And again, the Timberwolves creep to within 1. Minnesota, the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and Sacramento, the number 4 seed. Divac the screen, and Bibby works around that in the mismatch with Irvin Johnson. It's Garnett getting his 12th rebound. And Sam Cassell. And the Timberwolves have their first lead since a 4-2 mark early in the game.
Looks to me like Minnesota, that run at the end of the half calmed them down. They got themselves back into the game. Now they're playing in a much better rhythm, Kevin. I thought early they were way too quick with everything they were doing, playing too excited.
It's Weber against Kevin Garnett. A nice, easy channel touch by Weber, who is 4 of 10 with 10 points. A game-high 18 by Mike Bibby.
Now, Kevin Garnett is first league all-defense, so Chris Weber is playing against one of the better defensive players in the league at that position.
Cassell lost the ball, and turnovers have been the bugaboo for the Timberwolves tonight. They've got 11, 4 for the Kings, and Weber picked up by KG. Stojakovic working on Trenton Hassel, known for his defense. Asia. Rebound. Divac fighting with Irvin Johnson, who gets the ball and kicks it out to Garnett. The Kings back well in transition defense. And Cassell with a lot of purple around him. Rebound by Peja Stojakovic, number 3.
See, Sam gets in that lane. He shoots over smaller guards. It's tough to guard him with a smaller player.
Bibby tries to carve his way inside with a Minnesota foul. Garnett was defending, and Sprewell is picking up his first as we send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Kevin and Doug, as you guys have already mentioned, the turnovers by the Minnesota Timberwolves yesterday. Coach Saunders says that was going to be the key coming into the series, is how well his team was going to be able to take care of the ball. As far as Mike Bibby is concerned, he said, look, this guy's going to score baskets. It's because he's being so aggressive offensively. Obviously, the second half, we have to limit his touches. The last key, he felt that the team defensively played well in the second quarter, only held the Kings to 14 points, guys.
Thank you, Cheryl. You know, Cheryl talks about the turnovers. Minnesota had the second fewest turnovers in the regular season in the NBA. You mentioned it early in the game, but it's still surprising they got 11 tonight.
Well, they had 6 or 7 real early. I think they've settled down. They're doing a better job taking care of the ball.
Garnett with an Irvin Johnson foul inside as he goes colliding with Divac. He picks up a scrape on his elbow, and that is the second on Irvin Johnson.
You know, it's tough to find any weaknesses in Kevin Garnett's game. I mean, his rebounding, his passing, his passion, his defense, everything. But one area I'd like to see him do a little bit, I'd like to see him get to the free throw line more. He's taken 15 shots tonight, 14 shots, and has not attempted a free throw.
Kings have led by as many as 11, shooting 45% from the field. It's Bibby guarded by Sprewell. Here comes Weber, and outside a wide-open Divac with the move on Johnson, who picks up the Minnesota foul. That's the third on Irvin Johnson.
See, people don't realize what a great rebounder Kevin Garnett is. And interestingly enough, you look at his top rebounding games in his career, and 4 of the 5 come against Sacramento. This year he had a 25 rebound game. He had 33 points in that game as well, hit 2 critical threes late. They win in Sacramento. They won both games in Sacramento, which gives them a lot of confidence in this series.
And that is a foul, and it's called on Trenton Hassel, just hitting on that rebounding theme. In the 4-game series between these two teams in the regular season, the Timberwolves were plus 26 overall in rebounding. Nice shot. They get it. Bibby now with 21 points, 8 of 14.
See, Sacramento's gone back to that style they played early in the year where their big men are out and they're moving off those guys. I mean, Stojakovic, Christie, Bibby.
And Sprewell, the Timberwolves shooting 50% from the floor. Rebound by Weber as the Kings are -7 in rebounding tonight.
When the Kings are at their best, their big men lead them in assists.
Here comes Garnett. And Bibby comes back to reclaim the ball. The shot clock is at 9. A foul in backcourt on Latrell Sprewell.
It looked like Kevin Garnett had a breakaway. The ball was knocked loose. Mike Bibby goes back to get it. He fouled on Latrell Sprewell on the reach-in. Not happy with that call. More importantly, the Kings are shooting free throws now the rest of the period. So 7:42 to go here, Kevin. Third period. How many times can they get to that line, and can they capitalize on being at the free throw line so early in the period?
Doug, the Timberwolves have picked up 4 fouls in about the last 62 seconds of the game. And you can see the disparity that's growing at the free throw category.
That's why I think that Kevin Garnett's got to take that ball to the basket. He's so good at avoiding contact with that great extension. Get some contact, get to that free throw line.
It is a 7-0 run by the Sacramento Kings, with Cassell finding Sprewell. And for Kevin Garnett, who is 5 of 14, finding a double. And he throws it for a turnover. Picked up by Stojakovic, and Minnesota's turned it over 12 times. Weber with a nice fake. Rebound by Garnett, and a foul called inside. That is on Irvin Johnson. And he's got 4 fouls in this game.
Kevin Garnett catches the ball in the low post. You can see Weber doing a nice job pushing him away. And here comes Christie. The nice hands there. You can see Sacramento is going to double team him and force him to pass the basketball. That's 4 personal fouls now on Irvin Johnson. The question is going to be, he's picked up 3 in the last minute 15. Are they going to come in with Madsen or Olowokandi? Madsen has been playing better, but Olowokandi, I still think they're going to need him in this series.
And Olowokandi was a no-show in the Denver series, and you're right, Madsen was a great compliment to Garnett in round 1. The Timberwolves are down 59-53 on TNT. The 2004 NBA playoffs tonight from downtown Minneapolis on TNT are being brought to you by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. Chrysler. And by America's dairy farmers and milk processors. Minnesota took a lead of 53-52. The Kings have responded to Doug Collins with a 7-0 run.
And again, they're shooting free throws the rest of this period, Kevin. They want to be very aggressive, go to the basket, and we take a look at what's the difference in this game right now. It's been the free throw shooting. The Kings are +9. They've made 10, only 1 for the Wolves. And look at the turnovers. Again, the Wolves averaged less than 13 turnovers, which is second in the league in the regular season. Right. They have 12 that's led to 11 points. So +9 points off turnovers, +9 at the free throw line. That's +18 in a 6-point game. Those 2 categories right there, the difference right now is Weber steps up and knocks the free throw down.
And you talked about this before, but Minnesota was near the bottom of the NBA in free throws attempted this season.
Well, I'll tell you how important free throws are for the Minnesota. When they outshoot their opponents at the foul line, they're 35-2. That's how vital it is for them to get to that foul line.
Good point. Cassell, Garnett, Madsen, Hassel, Sprewell to Minnesota 5. Kevin Garnett with authority. Outside, Hassel, who's been red hot. Rebound, saved by the Timberwolves. Sprewell, Cassell for 3. That is only the 3rd 3-point hit for the Timberwolves tonight, courtesy of Sam Cassell. He's got a Minnesota high 17 points.
Again, that old bugaboo of offensive rebounding for Sacramento. They've got to clean up that defensive backboard. That cost them 3 points.
Here come the Kings. Weber, Stojakovic, Bibby, Christie, and Vlade Divac with another patented move inside the lane.
You see, Mark Madsen's too small. That's why they need Olowokandi, and that's why they need him to play well, because Vlade will just take his time and shoot that little subway hook over the top. And it's not a sky hook anymore. It's a subway hook.
Divac is 5 of 5 from the field with 12 points. He has had an effect on this game as you thought he would.
Well, you see, he's bounced the ball about 3 times and nobody gives any help. You've got to come back there and help and force him to kick the ball out. And he just took his time and just maneuvered and got right to where he wanted to get on the floor.
Weber just picked up his 2nd personal foul. We're approaching the halfway point of this 3rd quarter. So far, Sacramento has 1 foul. The Timberwolves have 6 in this quarter. Hassel off the baseline.
I like that. He missed his last jump shot. Be aggressive, take that ball to the basket. Again, Minnesota, if they want to get to the line, they've got to be more aggressive drawing contact as they go to the basket.
Trenton Hassel in the playoffs is averaging 7 points tonight. He's got a career high in the playoffs, 15 points for the Timberwolves, and here is Bibby. Each team has hit 3 3-point shots, and Divac picked up by Madsen with 2 on the shot clock. Mike Bibby had to arch it up, and a rebound by Sam Cassell, his 2nd tonight. Cassell.
That's when Cassell is so effective, Kevin. It's not a fast break. He's bringing the ball up the floor, an early transition, and the big man steps up and sets the screen. Look where Vlade is. Vlade's back again. Remember early in the game I showed how the big men have to be up? You've got to be up knowing Cassell's going to use that screen, and he loves to shoot that shot coming down on the fast break. It's an opportunity for a three-point play and to get Minnesota right back to within one.
Doug, he's playing with the ruptured eardrum. How does that affect his balance?
Well, he said, you know, I can understand why young children are crying all the time when they have an ear infection. He said, I've had problems with, I've been nauseous, I've lost my balance, my equilibrium. And he said, I can understand when young kids get these ear infections, now what it does to them. He said, it's been a miserable thing for me.
Shockingly, that is only the second Minnesota free throw tonight, but it brings the Timberwolves to within one. In contrast, the Kings have taken 14 free throw attempts. Minnesota's on an 8-2 run. Here comes Stojakovic with the defensive hassle right on him. Shot clock at 9 as Peja tries to work it inside. And a Trenton Hassel foul. That is the second on him.
So that's how you are able to push back rallies. You get to the free throw line. Again, Stojakovic, you don't realize how big this guy is. He's 6'8", 6'9", probably weighs about 240 pounds. So he just sort of what I call crab dribbled himself down in the lane. He got Hassel so deep he had to take the foul. This guy's the #1 free throw shooter in the NBA, so you would expect this to be 2 points. So you counter that little rally by getting to the free throw line.
53 consecutive free throws, including the playoffs for Peja Stojakovic. And Friday night on ESPN, the Pistons host the Nets. Sunday on ABC, Game 3, Lakers and San Antonio Spurs. This is a streak for Stojakovic now at 54 straight that has gone over 18 ball games. And here is Kevin Garnett. As he tries to do a pirouette, Weber picks up his third personal foul in a game that has had 4 ties and 3 lead changes and has seen the Kings lead by as many as 11 and the Timberwolves up by 2.
It's a very well-played game. You've got 2 teams playing at a very high level. Brad Miller checking into the game, and what a catalyst he was in Game 4 and 5 for Sacramento. Vlade will sit down right now, and Brad Miller now will play out on the floor with Chris Webber. It's a nice little matchup.
Some guys play better off the bench. Some guys play better as starters. What does Miller play better at?
Well, he plays better as a starter, but he understands right now that he's got to get his rhythm coming off the bench because that's what he's going to do.
Nice rotation Hassel into Christie. They have guarded him better in this second half. Closer, I should say, in this second half.
That's another turnover. That's 13.
Bibby to Miller. Stojakovic picked up by Hassel. Little flash of double team by Madsen.
He loves this little step back jumper.
Peja partially deflected and picked up by Sprewell. Great defense by Trenton Hassel.
He's got long arms, did a nice job timing that play.
Sprewell to Kevin Garnett, who's got 10 points and 13 rebounds. Great dish to Madsen.
Boy, does a nice job here, Hassel. Watch how he stays down. He realizes he loves this little spinning jump shot, gets that hand up, gets a piece of the basketball. You know, Kevin, this last play, to me, is so indicative of how unselfish Kevin Garnett is. He has a drive, and it looks like he can get all the way to the basket, maybe get a foul. He shovels the ball off to Mark Madsen, you know, to get an opportunity to go to the free throw line. And that's when Kevin Garnett, I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a more unselfish superstar than this guy right here. What he brings to this team. This guy reminds me so much of Michael Jordan and his passion and the electricity that he brings to the game. You can just almost feed off what he brings to this game with his energy.
Well said. Chris Webber with a great-looking hook shot. He's got 13 points. The Kings answer back up by 3, approaching 4 to play in the third. It's Garnett with Miller on him. A physical defender is Miller. And Garnett is 5 of 15. And a shove on Madsen. And a foul.
Now, Mark Madsen's got to be smart. You're 80 feet away from the basket. There are hustle plays, and there are plays that get you in trouble. The ball is loose here. Let's watch Madsen. You go for this loose ball. You don't ever want to take away a guy's hustle. Did you see right there as he leaned over, he pushed Miller in the back. Miller is a 78% free throw shooter. So once again, guys, go to the free throw line and have an opportunity to keep the lead. That's why, Kevin, in free throw situations and these kind of, you've got to get to that foul line, and that's what Minnesota's going to do a better job of in this series.
Doug, he is 78%, like you say, in the regular season. But because of that elbow, bursitis in his right elbow, in the playoffs, he is 38%, 7 of 19 from the line.
And he hit that big jump shot. Remember in Game 2, they might have been knocked out had he not hit that jump shot in Game 2. Dallas might have taken the home court advantage away, which they would have, and they probably won both games at home. That's how one shot changed the series.
Miller's got the bad elbow and the bad right shoulder. And look how open Hassel is. Rebound by Garnett. There is a whistle inside, and there is a Kevin Garnett foul. And that is number 3 on the MVP.
Let me show you what they're doing on screen roll here. Watch as Kevin Garnett comes over. Now watch Stojakovic. He's guarding Hassel. He comes all the way over and makes them throw the ball to Hassel. That's why he's getting a lot of these shots. So you can see they're not forcing their big men to come out and play the screen. They're running the weak side guy over and forcing them to pass the ball to Hassel. That's the way they've started playing their screen roll defense in this series.
Doug, that's the 9th foul this quarter against the Timberwolves as Miller gives the Kings a 68-63 lead with under 4 to play in the third.
If I'm Flip Saunders, I tell Kevin Garnett, the next time you get that basketball, you drive in there and you go strong to the basket, create contact, and I promise you'll shoot 2 free throws.
Can you believe Garnett has not taken a free throw shot tonight? And what, against Denver, he was 6-7 free throw attempts a game.
Go right in and there you go.
Yep.
They call a walk.
Oh, and a travel on Kevin Garnett.
Wow, I didn't see that. But I like that play by Kevin Garnett. Let's watch here as he wheels in. I guess he took the extra half step there, but you don't see it called that much, although we've seen a lot of traveling violations called over the last 4 or 5 games in the playoffs.
That's Chris Webber then in Game 5 against Dallas. Here comes Stojakovic over Hassel. Missing badly. Stojakovic 3 of 12. It's Cassell. Sprewell into Garnett. Doubled by Miller and Webber. And out of the reach of Hassel and out of bounds and off Minnesota, and that is the 15th Minnesota turnover. So the Timberwolves tonight, 16 assists and 15 turnovers. A very efficient Sacramento team with 16 assists and only 4 turnovers. It's been a rough go for Kevin Garnett. 5 of 15 from the field, 10 points, and his Wolves are down 69-63.
Well, Sacramento by 6, and they are committed to not allowing Kevin Garnett to post up. We're going to take a look here. Here Brad Miller comes up. You see the double team. Stojakovic takes the man. They're going to force the pass to come out to Hassel here, and Bibby's going to make that cover. So Bibby's going to be on his way over, as you see here. So what they're doing is they're going to be very aggressive on screen roll with Cassell. They're going to make him pass the ball. And anytime KG gets the ball in the low post, they're going to try to double team him. And it's created some confusion. They're trying to take these 2 guys out of the game. And when you look at the numbers, Kevin Garnett and Sprewell are 7 for 24. Weber and Stojakovic only 8 of 23. Once again, the difference is the foul line. 16 of 20 for Sacramento, 4 of 4 for Minnesota, plus 12 at the foul line.
Michael Olowokandi is coming for the Timberwolves with Fred Hoiberg, and an outside shot by Bibby. Clanked and a pickup by Hoiberg with Manson, Cassell, Sprewell, and Olowokandi, who has got to give Minnesota some good minutes. A 3 by Sam Cassell.
Once again, it's that drag screen again in transition. Your big guys cannot fall asleep and get back. They've got to step up and guard him. That's his bread and butter.
Cassell and Bibby each with 23. Weber has it rim out. Rebound inside. Picked up by Fred Hoiberg. The 2-point guards and what we thought would be the key matchup of the series going right now, point for point, 23 apiece in the final 2.5 to play in the third. It's Sprewell who sheds himself a Bibby. Picked up by Weber.
Had a wide open shot, just pulled the string and a little bit too much of a hurry.
Here come the Kings, Doug, shooting 44%. Another turnover. They're second in the last 25 minutes. It's Cassell with the miss. Minnesota is shooting 49% for the game.
Sam's a little gimpy after that play. We'll have to keep our eye on him. I know Mike Bibby's going to try to go right back at him, but a steal.
That is a foul on Mike Bibby. On the hustle of Sam Cassell, who has won 2 championships as an NBA player, both with the Houston Rockets in the mid-90s.
Sam maybe was just laying in the weeds here. Looked like he was hurt, and he gets a steal. This is his 93rd playoff game, so you know this guy's a tremendous amount of playoff experience.
It's 2 fouls now on Bibby. Walk to the other end where Cassell will shoot free throws for the Timberwolves, and he is 21 of 22 coming into tonight, and this is his second trip, and now he is 2 of 2 tonight. Get an all-access look at the NBA playoffs. Tune into the NBA TV playoff show, Destination Finals. It's every weeknight at 6 o'clock, only on NBA TV.
Kevin, you got to love the resiliency right now of Minnesota. Sacramento has outplayed them. They've beaten them at the foul line. They've beaten them in turnovers. They've done a good job taking Kevin Garnett out of the game. And you look up and it's only a 1-point game. Flip Saunders' team is hanging around here for a strong finish.
It's Webber against Madsen. And a foul inside. It's on Chris Webber.
See, Madsen's not a shot blocker, so Chris Webber can fake him all he wants. He's not going to leave his feet. And what happened was Webber thought he had him in the air. He leaned into him, took a bad shot, and then came over the back.
Webber's got 4 fouls.
Well, remember now, when Webber sat down in Game 5, his team went on a run. We saw the same thing in Dallas in Game 4. So this team has played very good stretches of basketball without him. Minnesota cannot let up now when they see him go sit down.
Doug Madsen is 2 of 2 tonight from the free throw line and 5 of 11 for the series and throws up an air ball. For the season, Mark Madsen 48% from the free throw line. If he hits, he ties with 1:46 to play in the third.
Those run pretty.
No.
An air ball and then a curve ball.
Now look at Olavacandy. He chases down the loose ball, and the Timberwolves with the buck 35 to play in the third, with Hoiberg on the mismatch and Divac, and they look inside for Madsen, grinding away. Oh, Mark Madsen has just given Minnesota a 1-point lead.
I'll tell you, this guy, you put he and Kevin Garnett out there together, they make coffee nervous.
Here comes Doug Christie, jousting with Hoiberg. Anthony Peeler in the game with the drive, and Madsen takes it.
He's turned the game around with his energy and his hustle. Look at him. I mean, this is the kind of guy you have to have on your team.
Peeler picks up his second personal foul for the Kings.
Look at him step in here. He takes the charge. All this happening with Kevin Garnett sitting on the bench and getting a rest going into the fourth period.
While the Timberwolves are dragging at the free throw line in comparison, taking 12 less free throw attempts, they lead in rebounding by 13. Hoiberg. Divac with the rebound. Timberwolves are on a 7-0 run, and here comes Doug Christie. He is 2 of 6. There are no fouls to give either way. Brad Miller off the bench, 2 of 3. Finds himself in a torture chamber, and a foul is called inside. And I believe it is Hoiberg, or was it Madsen? Cassell, who came from the side and picks up the foul. And Sam Cassell with his first personal foul of the game.
As we look back on this period, it's going to be the free throws that have kept Sacramento in it. Remember, they got there at the 12 or 7:42 mark. 7:42 mark, and it is keeping them in this ball game right now as Minnesota is making a run.
How about the big man Miller at the free throw line tonight, 4 of 5.
Well, he's starting to play good basketball again. You can see he's feeling better.
You're right.
His arm is better. He's moving better. You know, that foot injury, he had a bad shoulder.
He said in the Sacramento Bee this week he's feeling as good as he has felt in a long time. Cassell. Sprewell. Hoiberg for 3. That's what he does so well, but in this series, I should say in the playoffs, he has struggled from above the arc. Christie for 2 and puts it down. 2-1. Yep.
It's only going to be 0.6 of a second by the time that ball goes in, so that quick shot really didn't help them. Again, now Sam Cassell is the guy who loves to take the shot at the end of the quarter. Sacramento knows that. I would expect him to make him pass the basketball. They do have their best defender on him in Doug Christie as Mike Bibby sits and gets a little rest.
Christie number 5 in steals this season. Madsen with the screen. Cassell for 3. And that ties the ball game at 73.
unfortunately, the big man didn't get out again. Brad Miller's man went out to set the screen. He was too slow getting out there. You have to chase out with your big man.
Here comes Christie trying to break the tie and beat the buzzer at 3. And we come to the end of the third. And everybody on their feet. With Sam Cassell, 18 of Minnesota's 26 third-quarter points, authored by Sam Cassell, second team All-NBA. Here's 3, ties it at 73. At the end of 3, these are the playoffs on TNT. Back in Minneapolis, let's take a look at our Gatorade X-Factor of the game. Sam Cassell with a game-high 28 points for Minnesota.
Kevin, when you play against him, you know that he loves to get this screen coming down the floor in early offense. Your big men cannot run back in the paint. They've got to be prepared to step out. And you see here twice in that period, he just stepped up, especially the last play of the quarter. He didn't make him pass the basketball. This guy is too good. And, you know, look at the numbers. Trenton Hassel and Cassell are combined 18 for 29. Sprewell and Garnett are 7 for 25. Stojakovic and Weber 8 of 25. And you look at Vlade and Bibby are 13 for 21. So guys are picking up the slack. But come stretch time here, you're going to need a big quarter here for Kevin Garnett.
Sam was so hot he had to cool off with an ice pack on his head. We start the fourth quarter. Anthony Peeler in there with Miller, Stojakovic, Vlade Divac, and Mike Bibby. Bibby had 14 in the first quarter. It's Anthony Peeler. Rebound inside. Miller with an offensive rebound and pulls the trigger and gives the Kings a 2-point lead.
That's the plays that Brad Miller gives you, those hustle plays. He was actually behind the three-point line when that shot went up. You're going to see him, and he just sprints inside, and you know what? Nobody gets a body on him. And when a guy's far out on the floor, Olowokandi gets the foul, you got to go meet him and put a body on him, Kevin. They let him get a free run to the basket.
Rebound by Kevin Garnett, who is 0 of 2 in the third quarter. Garnett had 4 turnovers. Garnett scoreless in the third. For the game, he's got 10. Here comes Cassell. Out there with KG, Hoiberg, Olowokandi, and Trenton Hassel with the ball and over Bibby.
Well, he's making all the shots tonight. That's now 8 of 12 from the floor. 17 points for Trenton Hassel. You're going to pay a price if you're going to play against the big three, and right now he's the guy who's making the shots.
Sacramento is up by 11. Minnesota closed it to within 1 at halftime. Then Cassell had the great third quarter. Divac inside to Stojakovic.
Oh, Vlade's such a wonderful passer. But Olowokandi's got to get his hands up. He's got to make it tougher. He just let him go right over the top of his head on that cut.
It's Kevin Garnett, 5 of 15. Miller defending. Another tie. We've had 7 in the game with 5 lead changes. Timberwolves have had a 2-point lead. The number 1 seed Timberwolves against the number 4 seed Sacramento Kings.
Remember Chris Webber on the bench with 4 fouls.
It's Bibby. Miller trying to set his screen. Hoiberg feisty with his defense. It's Bibby to Divac. Rebound by Olowokandi, and here comes Cassell. Hoiberg from the wing by Miller. The Timberwolves have started 3 of 3 in this fourth quarter from the field. Vlade Divac. Mike Bibby for 3. Rebound by Michael Olowokandi.
Michael Olowokandi got the last 2 rebounds and a nice job in the post the last possession. There's that step-up shot in transition again. You got to get to him, Kevin.
Divac's screen. Bibby tried to work through a small crack and a foul called on Fred Hoiberg. He's got 3.
Well, when you're not shooting it well from the perimeter, run yourself to a basket, and that's what Fred Hoiberg does here. Does a nice job taking the ball around Brad Miller, uses the rim as a shield, knocks in the layup to give his team a 2-point lead.
Cassell leaves, and they put back in Sprewell. Kings have missed their last 8 3-point shots.
Now Kevin Garnett becomes their point guard here.
Divac. Nice shot by Divac, who is 6 of 7, 14 points and 5 rebounds.
He's just happy to be playing again against that Dallas series. It was a matchup of a nightmare matchup. He just couldn't play. But here, Kevin Garnett now is going to be their point guard
against Miller. Bronny Divac. The Timberwolves are shooting 50%, and the Kings are shooting 44% for the game. Anthony Peeler on Hoiberg and kicks it out. Divac with Peeler again. Rebound by Minnesota. They are plus 12 in rebounding tonight.
That's the difference. Their rebounding is taking advantage of the fact that they've turned the ball over and not gotten to the free throw line. That's keeping them abreast here.
Garnett, 6 of 17. They go inside with the Divac foul. 4 on Vladdy. Sam Cassell has been a flamethrower tonight. That tied it after 3. Cassell with the game-high 28, and we are tied. Seems like you hear a lot of superstitions about these players and what they like to follow in game routines, like Kevin Garnett. There's a bunch of them like the rubber band, which helps him remember where he came from, Malden, South Carolina, and the friends that he had growing up. And those are for the fallen friends. He had a good friend who died in a car accident at the age of 18. This is a tribute to Michael Jordan, how he gets the rosin on his hands and then spreads it around. Heart to heart, again, more of a sign to his friends who he has grown up with and who he has lost. And he gives being a two-fisted drinker a new meaning. One of those cups has water, the other cup has Gatorade.
You got to love it. You know, I've always said great players have such a routine that they follow every single night. And this guy, you know, he's such a loyal guy. His friendships, the people that have been so important throughout his life. He is some player. I have the ultimate respect for him.
Did you have any superstitions, Doug? Things you followed on a ritual every game?
Oh yeah. I mean, it comes down to you have a good game. What you ate that day, what you wore. It's all these different things. But I mean, the thing I love about him is how he's tied all these things to every aspect of his life. Right. That's pretty neat.
He's got his fiancée just a couple seats down. In the first round against the Nuggets, Kevin Garnett averaged almost 9. There's his fiancée, Brandy Padilla. Almost 9 free throw attempts a game. Those were his first 2, but they go in and the Timberwolves by 2 with 8:21 to play. Brad Miller. Olowokandi was there. Here's Peeler. Miller bops it. Look at the hustle of Michael Olowokandi. And Latrell Sprewell to the Candyman, the #1 overall pick in the draft a couple years ago, but he throws it away.
Well, Sprewell put him in a position there. He threw him the ball. He should have held on to that.
It's Bibby with the fake, knocked away by Hassel and picked up by Weber, and Olowokandi is there. Shot clock at 10 for Peja Stojakovic, 4 of 13, 4 of 14. Offensive rebound by Sacramento.
See, Olowokandi on Weber. Watch this matchup. This is what Flip Saunders wants to be able to do in the fourth quarter, so Garnett can guard Miller.
That was for a tie. Rebound by Kevin Garnett. He's got 15 rebounds. He's got 5 that have come in this quarter. Minnesota in the first round, Doug, was the best shooting team among the playoff teams in the fourth quarter.
Well, they execute so well. And you see the turnover here, just as I say that.
Anthony Peeler with Trenton Hassel's defense and no call made. It's Bibby into Hoiberg and a charge on Mike Bibby. That is number 3 on Bibby.
Well, how about Trenton Hassel never giving up on the play? Anthony Peeler looks like he's got a breakaway layup. Look at him track him down. And he gets a piece of it right there, and then he forces his teammate then to be able to step over Hoiberg and take the charge on Mike Bibby. Those are the little plays when you look over tomorrow's stat sheet that maybe not show up, but they can help you win the basketball.
There's a great story, Doug, between Hoiberg and Hassel when they were both in Chicago.
Well, they became such fast friends there. They played on a team that wasn't very good. They tried to be leaders. Hassel came in, and in the second year there with Hoiberg, and they really fed off of each other and helped each other grow as players.
And Hoiberg was telling him the same things that Reggie Miller told Hoiberg in Indianapolis. about being a pro. Mark Jackson, too. Minnesota has not scored in 3 minutes from the field. Rebound by Miller. He now has 8 rebounds and 11 points coming off the bench, 3 of 4. Bibby with the Sacramento high 23. Cassell with the game high 28. Watching Christie slash down the lane. Knocked out of bounds in 10 seconds on the shot clock with 6.5 to play. Madsen will come back in. Candy will lead.
Let's watch the matchups now. They're going to have Madsen on Weber. They felt like he did a good job in the third period against him again. That leaves Garnett on Miller.
Kings have hit 5 threes. Minnesota 3. Sacramento has missed their last 5 shots. As Bibby grinds on Hassel and a foul called on Trenton Hassel. Number 3 on him.
Just a smart play by Mike Bibby. He knew he was being ridden all the way to the basket, and he just counted on the fact that if he tried to make that shot, that the referees would put him on the free throw line. That's just a smart play.
You know, Mike Bibby is also playing with kind of a heavy heart in these playoffs.
Yes, he lost his grandmother late in the season, his mother's mother, and she meant so much to him. He found out about the last game of the year in Golden State, had one of his best games of the year, and he said that he's dedicated these whole playoffs to the love he has for his grandmother and what she meant in his life.
Playoffs continue tomorrow night on TNT. The Spurs will take on the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 2 coverage on TNT, 9 Eastern. Thursday night also on TNT. The Heat will play the Pacers in Game 1 from Indianapolis.
Well, Kevin, could you ask for more? A little over 6 minutes to go, tied between two terrific teams.
6:22 to play. Cassell kicks it out to Trenton Hassel. It's a rebound inside by Weber, torn away by Sam Cassell and out of bounds. And no foul, just out of bounds. And 22 seconds on the shot clock.
The interesting thing is going to be, Kevin, to me, is can Trenton Hassel make these shots under pressure? Because they're going to force him to continue to shoot the ball. Now the game is on the line.
He's 8 of 13. Giving Anthony Peeler knocks it down. It's a 2-point shot by the former Timberwolf, Anthony Peeler, who was a part of so many first-round playoff disappointments here in Minnesota, playing in a second-round series against his old team, now with the Kings. Under 6 to play in the game. It's Garnett, 6 of 17. Lasers it to Cassell. Hassel, great ball rotation to Sprewell. Offensive rebound by Madsen. Oh, and he almost lost it. Almost lost it.
Oh, man, he's short on that one.
Garnett, and a foul on Miller.
Boy, Latrell Sprewell looks like he's trying to guide the ball instead of shoot it tonight. He's had about 3 or 4 of those that he's tried to guide in the basket. He's only 2 of 12 on the night for 5 points, but the hustle play by Kevin Garnett, once again, he'll go to the free throw line, and we know how important free throws are in the 4th period.
Absolutely. They are huge for both teams. Tonight, the 2004 NBA playoffs from downtown Minneapolis on TNT, brought to you by Hyundai. Visit NBA.com and enter to win a new Hyundai Santa Fe. By Van Helsing, starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale. This Friday, adventure lives forever. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers at Radio Shack. And by America's Dairy Farmers and Milk Processors. With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan, Minnesota, Doug, has closed out the second and third quarters very strong, but here are some intangible numbers that you look at and you see almost right down the middle, some for the Wolves and some for the Kings.
Well, rebounding, Minnesota plus 11 to second chance points, and then the free throw line, Sacramento's plus 12, points off, turnovers plus 10. So we talked to the coaches before the game, and Flip Saunders' concern was turnovers and rebounding. He's done a good job on the boards, but the turnovers really hurt them. And on the other side, I'm sure Rick Adelman has to be happy his team is getting to the free throw line, and they've done a nice job forcing turnovers.
Minnesota has taken 11 free throws. The Kings have taken 25. Garnett hits 2. The Kings have gotten 20 points from the free throw line. Minnesota has gotten 10. And closing out quarters in this game.
Now, second quarter 11-2, third quarter 10-4. That's 21-6 for Minnesota. 5 minutes to go here. We'll see if they can close this out.
It's Bibby. Madsen is out on Weber. Garnett in to meet him on the defense. Picked up by Cassell. Vacuumed in by Sprewell. And here comes Latrell Sprewell. 2 of 12. 2 of 13. Rebound Anthony Peeler.
As you can just see, Chris Webber gets in the lane, and he's not able to finish his shots right now. He has no lift. All those shots are being challenged, and he's taking very difficult shots at the basket.
It's Bibby inside, rejected by Sprewell. Bibby.
Oh, my.
What a play by Mike Bibby, who's got 27, right back at the game high 28 of Sam Cassell.
That's a great point. Both point guards really have washed each other out tonight. Stojakovic and Webber are 9 for 29. Latrell Sprewell and Garnett 8 for 30.
Remember, Sprewell averaging 20 points a game in the playoffs. It's Hoiberg for 3. Rebound by Webber.
Again, you can see they're not going to let Cassell shoot the basketball. They're going to try to make him pass it off all those screen rolls, make somebody else make a shot.
So with Minnesota having missed their last 8 from the field, here goes a pass from Bibby inside to Miller, who's down hard on a foul by Mark Manson.
Now, the reason that's not flagrant is because he made a play on the ball. He went up to try to block the shot. Can't give up any layups at this stage in time. Matt's a little slow in his recovery. Becomes OVC, makes a play on the ball there. That's a hard foul. And you can see as series goes on, those fouls become a little bit more frequent as teams get a little testy playing against one another this many times.
The Kings tonight, 20 assists on 9 turnovers. But even more impressive, Doug, 20 assists on 31 made baskets. Very efficient.
Well, both of these teams are very good passing teams, and they're both unselfish. And, you know, you have a lot of high assist games when you shoot the ball well, and both these teams are two of the better shooting teams in the NBA. So they pass well, they shoot it well. Uncharacteristically, Minnesota's turning the basketball over. If they lose this game tonight, they're going to point to those turnovers being the difference.
Minnesota's turned it over 18 times on 19 assists. Here comes Cassell. The Timberwolves have not scored from the field in over 6 minutes. Hoiberg again from 3. Finally, it drops, and Hoiberg tonight from three-point territory has gone 2 of 5. A one-point game with 3:40 to play. Mike Bibby. Tipped in by Mike Bibby, who snuck inside with the game-high 29.
This guy is playing brilliant basketball right now. He's just taking his team right on his shoulders.
Cassell picked up by Christie, a Garnett screen. Hoiberg, Sprewell, Maxson, rejected by Miller. Some outstanding defense. Miller tries to tear it away. Here comes Anthony Peeler the other way for the Kings. The double-teamed Webber. And Miller, who is 3 of 4. Wide open is Doug Christie. Picked up by Kevin Garnett, 17 rebounds and 16 points. Sam Cassell for 3. Look at the hustle of Manson. He steamrolls Bibby. And a foul called on Mark Manson, who is flopping all over the floor. Madsen picks up number 5. How about Bibby inside?
Well, he doesn't give up on the play. You watch him here. He goes inside. He thinks he's fouled, but doesn't give up on the play. Great hands to tip that ball in. Mike Bibby, when Sacramento's playing well, when they win close games, he's the guy they go to at the end. We saw it in the Dallas series.
Timeout.
Well, we're in for a great finish. 2:51 to go in the fourth quarter. The Kings by 3. And I'm going to show you a little bit. Here's Mike Bibby here. He's playing against Hoiberg, and Hoiberg is right here. They've got Christie on Cassell, and you're going to see Mike Bibby is just going to come over and play Cassell, and they're basically going to leave Hoiberg as he comes off this screen. They're not going to let Cassell come off and shoot the basketball, and he's got a wide open shot. So what they've done is Minnesota, they've moved their best shooter up into that position. Hoiberg shot 44% from behind the three-point line. It'll be interesting to see if Sacramento changes their screen roll defense here late in the game, because Minnesota now has their best shooter in that position.
Doug, in the Dallas series for Sacramento, the Kings defense allowed only 32% Dallas shooting in the fourth quarter. It looks like the trend is continuing tonight in this series.
Well, remember now, Sacramento last year was #1 in the league in field goal percentage defense. And so, with that said, they have been a good defensive team last year. This year, they haven't. You're starting to see signs of that. Tonight, 4 of 14 for Minnesota in this period.
It's Kevin Garnett inside. Garnett in this second half is only 1 of 5. He's only got 6 points in the third and fourth quarter, 2.5 to play in the game.
Look at the ball in the hands of Mike Bibby. This is the guy they're going to have to make him pass like Cassell.
Oh, and he spoon feeds Weber, and Chris Weber drills it. Weber's got 15. Bibby has got his 6th assist. And 31 points for Bibby with the Kings on top by 7. They've led by as many as 11. Sacramento is on a 10-3 run. Garnett with Christie right there. Sprewell tonight, 2 of 13. Garnett, 6 of 18. That is hurting Minnesota.
Well, here's Mike Bibby once again just controlling the flow of the game. Chris Weber has struggled to finish shots. He steps up and makes a big jumper to put his team up by 7.
It's Garnett with Miller defending, and 3 seconds on the shot clock. Rebound by Urban Johnson. It's Sam Cassell for 3.
What a huge play by Urban Johnson. It looked like Stojakovic had that rebound. They would have had the ball up 7. He knocks it out to Cassell. It's now down to 4.
Bibby's got 31. Sam Cassell has 31. The Kings are shooting 42%. Bibby, Weber, around Cassell, loose inside, with 2 on the shot clock. Stojakovic, an incredible shot. Only his 5th hit in 15 tries tonight. Minnesota shooting 45% the other way. With a second or 2 on the shot clock, Peja Stojakovic goes for his 14th point with Sprewell in his face.
Sometimes you got to be a little lucky. The ball just happened to roll over to Stojakovic. The presence of mind to take that shot once again in front of his bench. So they were yelling out to let him know how much time was on the clock.
Here comes Garnett. A 2 by KG. And Garnett, 6 of 19. Cassell for 3. Good again.
Another offensive rebound. That's 6 points on offensive rebounds here. It's a 1-possession game. Minnesota does not have to foul. Still a lot of time left.
60 seconds remaining and no fouls to give either way. Bibby. It's Christie for 3, and it's down. Doug Christie hits a 3-point shot. His first 3 tonight. He's got 9 points, and the Kings lead by 6.
Well, Doug Christie, without Bobby Jackson playing, is your toughest player. We saw that in the Dallas series. Jeff Petrie breathing a little bit, a big sigh of relief there. This game far from being over. 49 seconds to go. Back-to-back threes by Sam Cassell off kickoffs, off offensive rebounds. And here's Christie, had been 3 for 10 from the floor. He knocks one down. Stojakovic had been 4 for 14. He knocked one down. Big shots made by terrific players there under pressure.
In a 6-point Sacramento game, no fouls to give. You see the timeout situation. 49 seconds to play in the game.
I see a lot of time left. You know, Kevin, what you want to do is right now is you want to get a good shot. It's not necessarily you have to get a 3. You want to be, but you got to score on this possession. Extend the game a little bit. You get a stop, and then you let your defense go to work for you. But you see the big 3 tonight here. Kevin Garnett has 18 big rebounds, but has really struggled from the floor with only 16 points. Cassell, 34 points. And Sprewell and KG combined 8 of 33 from the floor tonight. So they've really done a nice job defending those 2 guys. You know that Minnesota would love to get Cassell a shot here. He's being played by Doug Christie, who's their best defender. Let's see if they can shake him free.
Hoiberg to inbound. And gets it into Sam Cassell with the game-high 34. Stojakovic on him, and why not? Stojakovic has been the defensive star of the playoffs for the Kings. Shot clock at 15. Sprewell from way outside. Rebound by Weber. Sprewell 2 of 14. It's picked up by Christie, who is immediately fouled by Latrell Sprewell with 32 seconds to play.
This will be a night that Latrell Sprewell will not want to remember. You see Kevin McHale. But Latrell has really struggled. You talked about a 2 of 14. Has not gotten to the free throw line 1 time. And that's, you know, when you're struggling, you'd like to be able to get some free throws. But Sacramento had a nice game plan defensively, forcing Hassel to try to make some shots. Hoiberg, Sprewell trying to double team Kevin Garnett, get the ball out of his hands. He's 6 of 20. And so Sacramento now is going to be flying home tonight. They don't play again here till Saturday night, so they're going to go home. So that flight's going to be much nicer heading home.
Party night on ESPN. Pistons will take on the Nets. Sunday on ABC, Game 3, the Los Angeles Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs. Sacramento has 6 players in double figures, led by the 31 of Mike Bibby. And the Sacramento Kings in Game 1 trying to take home court away from the Timberwolves with an 8-point lead and a half minute to play. Doug just told you that Sacramento will fly back tonight and get back to the capital of California about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Saturday night here against the Timberwolves. Monday night, Game 3 in Sacramento on TNT. Doug, this night began with the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern, giving Kevin Garnett the NBA MVP trophy.
You know, I was sitting around today thinking about this game tonight and what this night meant to Kevin Garnett. And many instances you see a guy come out like tonight in such an emotional night. It's tough to play and perform. We see KG let go at 6 of 21 now for Kevin Garnett. You know he's going to bounce back. And this guy, Sam Cassell, just keeps making every big shot. But you get an award like this, a night like this, when you work so hard, sometimes it's tough to come out and play. This guy will bounce back, though. He is absolutely a genius as a basketball player.
He'll turn 28 this month, May 19th.
How about that point guard matchup, though? Sam Cassell, 37 points. Mike Bibby has 31. Against Sprewell and Garnett combined 8 for 35. And Stojakovic and Weber combined 11 for 31. Well, let us not forget Vlade Divac gave him a terrific game. 14 points tonight, 6 rebounds after not playing much. He was 6 of 7 from the floor. Did not get to play against Dallas because of the small lineup. Brad Miller's coming off the bench, 13 points and 10 rebounds. We talked about the importance of their big men playing well. Those two guys really have been the difference in the game tonight for Sacramento, with Weber and Stojakovic struggling.
And the free throw shooting, as you have talked about the entire night, plus 18 free throws made by the Kings over the Timberwolves.
Well, the one thing I've seen in Sacramento, I did not see this commitment to defense out of them during the regular season. Again, I'm going to harken back to Game 4 in Dallas. I saw a road mentality in this team that I had not seen. And maybe it took Game 3, them getting beat by 25, to make them understand what you have to do once again to win on the road. This is a team that's been through a lot. They were within one shot of being in the NBA Finals. The Lakers broke their heart. Remember Robert Horry's big shot. Instead of being up 3-1, it was 2-2. The smiles and all this, a tough team. And Jeff Petrie, one of the most underrated executives in this league, does a magnificent job with their franchise.
Good point. He and Adelman were one-time NBA teammates back in the 70s. With another 3. And now he brings the Timberwolves to within 4. There is a quick foul. And Cassell again has scored 40 points in a playoff game this year.
Tell you, relax on this guy just a little bit. I'm sure what Doug Christie's thinking, I don't want to foul this guy out here shooting a 3. He's made 3 threes in a different area code where you used to live, Kevin, where he's shooting that ball from.
He's got 40 points. He had a 40-point game against the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Here's Bibby, 8 of 10 from the line. And the Kings, an astounding 28-34 advantage over the Timberwolves, who are 10 of 12 from the stripe.
One of the things Minnesota all year long, they've been a team that has not gone to the free throw line very often. They move the ball. They're so unselfish. They make the extra pass. They get a lot of open shots. Again, Kevin Garnett tonight, 21 field goal attempts, only 4 free throws. Sprewell, 14 none, so they take 35 shots and only get to the line 4 times. And I'm sure that's something they're going to have to talk about, because you got to get to the foul line in the playoffs.
Doug, as we take a look at Sacramento, here is a team that was derailed late in the regular season, losing 8 of their final 10 games. And there was some question about Rick Adelman saying, did you play Weber too many minutes? But then they get to the playoffs, and now they're back on track. They take 4 of 5 from the Dallas Mavericks. It looks like they're going to take Game 1 on the road in this semifinal matchup against Minnesota. They have completely turned their team around in the postseason.
Well, you know, they got embarrassed at the end of the season. That last loss to Golden State cost them the Pacific Division. How are you going to recover from that? They've come out and they've played well.
Cassell, short there. Weber, Stojakovic, And the Sacramento Kings have just taken home court away from the top seed in the Western Conference with a 104-98 win in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals.
Well, you know, Minnesota all year long has been one of the best road teams. They're 27-14. They can win on the road. This is not devastating to them, but they have to recover now. They have now until Saturday to get themselves ready to play in Game 2. From the Sacramento standpoint, they have to be pleased at the toughness they showed, and once again, Mike Bibby led the way.
Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Mike, this was a team that you guys obviously struggled with, and during the regular season, they really didn't have an answer as far as trying to stop you. This has to be a huge win for you guys.
Yeah, it's a big win. That's what we wanted to do. You know, we wanted to get the first one, and you know, I mean, Sam, you know, still got hot a little bit, but you know, that's what this game's about. We're gonna go watch film tomorrow. You know, and try and clean that up next game.
You know, Mike, during the regular season, Kevin Garnett averaged 26 points and 19 boards. The MVP was awfully silent tonight. What did you guys do differently?
I mean, there's times when it happens like that. You know, I mean, we expect him to bounce back harder next game. You know, that's just the type of player he is. But, I mean, people have nights like that.
All right, congratulations. Let's send it back to you, Kevin and Doug.
Cheryl, thank you. Mike Bibby has now scored 69 points in the last 2 games and playing like he did in the postseason 2 years ago against Dallas and the Los Angeles Lakers. It is Minnesota's first home loss since March 14th against the Blazers. The Timberwolves had won 9 straight here, 33 for Bibby, 40 for Sam Cassell. Final 104-98, the Sacramento Kings win Game 1. For Cheryl Miller and Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan saying so long as we take you to our TNT studios in Atlanta with Ernie Johnson, the Jet, and Sir Charles.